So, can you bulk on the sugar diet? And I'll keep the video simply to that, so I don't go off and it's easy for people to follow. So, someone left a comment asking if they could bulk on the sugar diet, and 100% you absolutely can. That person had a goal in mind. They said, I want to lose 30 pounds. I'm not sure what their starting weight was, but let's say they're not too overweight. Let's say maybe they're 6 foot, 230 pounds. Maybe they don't work out a lot and they want to lose body fat first, which is excellent. I would also start with working out and losing weight at the same time. So let's say, so they're working out, they're on the sugar diet, they're not tracking anything, they're eating and they're losing weight progressively. They get to 200 pounds, maybe they bottom off, or they could keep losing weight. But they said, hey, you know what? I kind of want to give weight loss a simple break, but that doesn't mean I want to like go back to some crappy diet. I just want to put on some muscle. How would I go about that? The simplest way to do that would be to take a protein supplement. I use protein powders. You don't have to. It's just simple, right? It's just simple to not even track, just auto-regulate throughout your day. Or you could use even this is another supplement, but it's like a protein treat. It is a little bit high in fat. I wouldn't recommend doing treats unless unless that's the only fat item you eat throughout the day, because this has 10 grams of fat in it, and everything else is very low. Or you can do this protein supplement, which has almost zero, about 1 grams of fat. Or if you don't like supplements, that's absolutely fine. It's just the easiest way to do it. You could do chicken breast. Just start off with a chicken breast, whatever you want. Cut it up, maybe have that with some vegetables. But that's what I would do daily. So if you're having your meat and vegetables, throughout the week, I would start daily adding in some sort of protein supplement so you can add in that protein to your diet and sort of get a track of where your protein's at. So if you're eating mainly fruits and vegetables, probably not like super accurate with how much protein you're getting, and it really depends on what vegetables you're eating, because fruits really don't have protein. If you're eating baked potatoes and beans, you might be getting around 30 to 40 grams a day. So if you add in a supplement, which one serving of this is 25 grams, that's a good start. You're now getting 50 to 60 grams of protein, okay? So start with that, and then see where you're going in the gym, okay? Because I wouldn't worry too much about weight gain in the gym, okay? Like I wouldn't worry about, I'm gaining 2 pounds a week, that's excellent. Unless you're very, very new, 2 pounds a week in the gym is not gonna be muscle. And even if you're very, very new, that's gonna bottom out super quick in the gym, muscle gain wise. You can gain 2 pounds a week forever if you wanted to, but it's not gonna be muscle, no. But yeah, so you would add in whatever that is. So say you have a protein treat, you add that in, let's say after the gym. So you work out 3 times a week, you have that protein treat or that protein powder, that little bit of chicken after the gym. And then you go on the scale and you see your weight's going up a little bit. It shouldn't be as fast as your weight loss, nowhere near as fast as your weight loss. You see it going up a little bit, that's great. Stick with it until you get to a point where you reach a goal. Your weight gain goal shouldn't be nowhere near as high as your weight loss goal was. Meaning if your weight loss goal was to lose 50 pounds, your weight gain goal should not be to gain 50 pounds. It should be to probably gain anywhere from 10 to 15 pounds over the course of 6 months. And then once you get there, reassess, and then maybe go back into a slight deficit. But we'll talk about that in a different video. I don't want people to get caught up on calories or anything like that. Just reassess where you are and have a goal and plan after that. So this person, once they lose that 30 pounds, they want to gain weight, build muscle, have some sort of protein, right? So you keep track of your protein. You don't need to get the 1 gram per 1 pound of body weight. That is dumb. That is the dumbest thing ever. I think it's a marketing thing. It's easy, right? That's easy to auto-regulate. Oh, I can just get 1 gram, but it's too much. I think for anybody, it's way too much. And especially for someone who's coming in, a woman who's fairly new to lifting, that 1 gram per 1 pound of body weight, that is a joke. That is, you do not need that much. That is crazy. That is silly. Because I can look at my girlfriend right now. She hardly works out. She has a great figure, great physique. But she hardly works out and hardly tracks her protein. Like she never tracks her protein, right? So she has no idea how much protein she's eating. So if you start with a base of, okay, I'm going to have 2 scoops of protein a day, which if that's a powder, that's 50 grams. That's great. That's a great place to start. And don't worry about it until you reach your goal. Don't get pedantic about it. Don't freak out. Don't, if I have more protein, am I going to gain more muscle? Don't even worry about it. Start at a lowest level possible and see how far that low level can take you, and keep going until you reach your goal. It's sort of the problem that people get into with these diets. They think that more is better, and it's not, especially when it comes to gaining weight. If you want to lose weight, truly, less food, which would be more hard dieting, is better. If you want to lose weight as fast as possible, don't eat anything. The weight will disintegrate off your body, truly. But you're going to feel like crap. And that's the whole point of the sugar diet, is you feel good while you're losing weight, right? I see people commenting on, I've just pretty much started up with making a lot of sugar diet videos after going back and forth through all the carnivore sort of tests and trials. And I see people's comments on Mark Bell. I see people's comments on Snake Diet, Cole Robinson. I see new YouTubers who are just like me with very little views, with all the people commenting on there, trying out these new diets. And they're saying, I stalled on this, I stalled on that. I didn't feel good. I felt like crap. I got here. So they want to try something new. So that's why they're coming to this. But don't worry about it. That's what I'm getting to. Don't worry about it. Try it, reach your goal, and then once you reach your goal, don't freak out. Reassess where you want to go from there. And then once you reassess, start with the lowest change possible. Okay? If you're not somebody who wants to be a bodybuilder or who wants to be a crazy, lean, shredded physique, you don't have to worry about doing drastic and extreme things. I've done those things before to get as lean as possible. And it's kind of why I've ended up where I'm here now with the sugar diet, is because they mess with you too hard. You get to a point where you do a diet that's too hard, and you just rebound, and you rebound back and forth, you go back and forth, and it's a constant yo-yo of nothing. You gain progress, and then that progress goes right back. Instead of gaining progress, reassessing, gaining progress, reassessing, gaining progress. Now, me going up and up, people, if you're losing weight, your weight would be going down. But I'm just saying, your overall goals, right? You have a goal level, you hit your goal, you go up, you hit your other goal, right? Instead of yo-yoing back and forth. And you do that by starting with the lowest possible change to your diet, right? When you start too big, yeah, it might work for 3 days, a week, but you can't keep up to it. It's not good. So start with the lowest change possible. So reassess your goals and keep the changes as minimal as possible on the sugar diet. So for women, I would probably just start with a scoop of protein powder. That is so simple. Buy a 5-pound tub. You might think it's expensive, which it is right now. It's ridiculous. Buy a 5-pound tub of protein powder if you're vegan, or you want to try, being vegan. Buy a vegan sorts of pea protein, whatever you want, whatever vegan protein powder you want. If you don't care about that, buy a whey isolate, mix it in with the fruit daily, mix it in with water, mix it in, maybe if you drink milk, skim milk, which is very low in fat, you could do that daily. That'd be a good way to get extra protein from the milk and from the powder itself. That'd be around 30 grams, and have that after a workout. And then just see where you're going every day after that, or every week really, on the scale. And keep it simple. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to reach that 200 grams, or even if a woman's 130 pounds, that's 130 grams of protein a day if they were doing the 1 pound per 1 gram. To me, that's ridiculous, because I'm doing that right now. I have a decent amount of muscle, like 130 to 150 grams of protein a day. And I can tell you, it doesn't make a difference for somebody like me. So why would a woman need 130 grams of protein who's just starting working out? It's silly. Forget that. Fill in those sort of missing proteins. If you're getting 50 grams of protein a day from powders now, fill the rest in with carbs. So instead of having 130 grams of protein, you'd have 50 grams of protein and 70 to 80 grams of carbs. You would do it that way, and you just keep it simple. So yeah, if you're worried about gaining weight on the sugar diet and you think you're just going to disintegrate, don't. You'll know it when you get to that point, and that's why Cole says to keep the meat in, here and there throughout the week. But I'm telling you, if you want to gain weight, simply add in that small source of meat, that small protein supplement, powder, food, whatever, and then keep going until you reach your goal, and then reassess from there. And that would be like a whole different video. But I'm glad to see everybody's, starting this, making progress. Don't freak out about it. Don't worry about it. Do what Mark Bell says, which I think is the best advice for somebody who's just starting off new to dieting, is just take it and eat what you can within it. Find the foods you like and just eat it until you feel satisfied. Don't count and don't worry. This video specifically just touches that subject that person made of can you bulk on the sugar diet? 100% you can. But if you're starting, just choose whatever foods you find within that diet you can stick to them, and make progress until you hit your goal, and then reassess. But that's a video for another time, and I will talk about that later.